Success is not the thunderclap moment people think it is. It doesn't come wrapped in fireworks or trumpet blasts. It doesn't arrive on a grand stage with cameras flashing. No, real success, lasting success, is shaped in the quiet, ordinary hours of each day. It's formed by discipline when no one is watching, by choices made when applause isn't expected. The truth is, success is a rhythm, not a moment. It's something you grow into, not something that drops into your lap. In Bible we are said, a man reaps what he sows, and that truth doesn't just apply to crops in a field. It applies to character, habits, effort, the seeds you plant each day, the choices you make when you're tired, when you're tempted, when you're alone. Those become the harvest of your life. You don't become strong by lifting a heavy load once. You become strong by lifting it day after day, refusing to quit even when you're sore and no one's there to cheer. That's the part most people miss. They want the outcome but not the process. But the Bible reminds us that we must not grow weary in doing good, because in due time we will reap if we do not give up. That tells me something important. That discipline today leads to reward tomorrow, but only if you're willing to stick with it. The world may try to convince you that shortcuts are smarter, that fast success is better. But the path God blesses is often the long one. The one paved with faithfulness, with integrity, with grit. When you wake up each morning and choose to do the right thing, even when it's hard, even when no one says thank you, that's a victory. When you keep your word, even though it costs you something, that's the kind of success that builds character. And character over time builds legacy. The Bible says that the one who is faithful with little will also be faithful with much. So don't despise small starts. Don't overlook the value of unseen moments. God watches in silence what man celebrates in public. It's not always about grand gestures. Sometimes success looks like biting your tongue when you want to lash out. Sometimes it's getting up early to pray, to study, to think. It's choosing kindness when anger feels more satisfying. It's working hard when no one is giving you credit. Every little act of discipline is like a brick in the wall you're building. And someday, people will look at that wall and call it success. But you'll know, it wasn't built in a day. It was built every day. We live in a world that loves instant results. But the kingdom teaches us to value patience, to walk steadily, to run the race with endurance. The habits you build in quiet obedience prepare you for the calling that's waiting. So keep showing up, keep sowing, keep walking the path, even when it feels slow. Because success isn't one giant step, it's thousands of small ones taken faithfully, with discipline and character leading the way. There's something powerful about the way you start your day. The first thoughts, the first words, the first decisions, they shape everything that comes after. When you wake up with a heart full of purpose and a spirit of gratitude, you don't just prepare for the day, you prepare for victory. Too many people wake up already defeated, burdened by yesterday, worried about tomorrow. But each new morning is a fresh page, a new gift. And the way you approach it writes the story of your day. In Bible we are said that His mercies are new every morning. That means no matter what happened yesterday, whether you stumbled, failed, or felt lost, today brings a new chance, a new mercy, a new opportunity to live with intention. That's not just good news, it's life-changing. Because when you understand that truth, you stop dragging the weight of the past into your present. You begin to walk lighter, think clearer, and move forward with a sense of divine permission to start again. Purpose gives your steps direction. Gratitude gives your heart peace. When the two work together, you begin to live above circumstances, not beneath them. Too many folks look at the day like it's something they just have to survive. But when you begin your morning thanking God for breath in your lungs, strength in your bones, and purpose in your soul, the weight of worry starts to lift. You see clearer, you respond better, you lead stronger, you serve deeper. The Bible teaches us that this is the day the Lord has made. We are told to rejoice and be glad in it. That's not a suggestion for when things are perfect. It's an invitation to find joy and purpose in every kind of day, even the hard ones. especially the hard ones. Because it's in the difficult mornings where gratitude becomes the anchor and purpose becomes the sail. The world is noisy. It will try to pull your attention in a dozen directions before you've even had your coffee. But when you begin the day by centering your heart, by seeking first the kingdom of God and aligning your spirit with what truly matters, you set the tone not just for the hours ahead, but for the life you're building. Purpose doesn't mean you have every detail figured out. It means you're committed to walking in the direction God is leading, trusting that each step has meaning, even if you can't see the full path yet. And gratitude? It's not just being thankful for what you have. It's recognizing the source of every good gift and keeping your eyes on Him, not on what the world says you lack. In Bible, we are said to give thanks in all circumstances, not just in comfort, but in challenge. That kind of gratitude doesn't just change your mood, it changes your mindset. It builds resilience, it draws favor, and it turns even the smallest victories into celebrations. When you wake up with purpose, you stop wondering. When you wake up with gratitude, you stop complaining. And when those two come together, you don't just face the day, you conquer it. There's something deep and enduring about a person who walks in integrity. It's not loud, it doesn't draw attention to itself. But like a compass pointing north, it quietly guides every decision, every step, every choice. Success that lasts isn't built on talent alone or charm or cleverness. It's built on truth. And truth always begins with integrity. In Bible, we are said that the integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity. That's not just poetic, it's principle. What's on the inside eventually shows up on the outside. People might get ahead for a while by cutting corners or bending the truth, but that kind of success has a short shelf life. It crumbles under pressure, because it was built on sand, not stone. But when a person chooses to be honest, even when no one else is, God takes notice, and in the long run, so does the world. Because character shines brightest in a culture that's forgotten what it looks like. In Bible, we are said that a good name is more desirable than great riches. That tells you something about how heaven measures success. It's not about how much you've gathered, but how you lived while gathering it. Were you fair? Were you faithful? Did you keep your word when it would have been easier to back out? Did you speak the truth even when your voice trembled? Integrity isn't about being perfect, it's about being consistent. It's about aligning your words with your actions and your actions with your values. There's a quiet strength in someone who refuses to compromise their convictions. Not because they want applause, but because they know who they are and whose they are. Integrity is not just doing the right thing when it's easy. It's doing it when no one's watching, when no one will know, and when there's something to lose. And yet, what you gain by standing firm far outweighs anything you might give up in the moment. We're told in Bible that whoever walks in integrity walks securely. That security doesn't always mean you'll be the most popular or the most praised, but it does mean you'll sleep well at night. You won't be looking over your shoulder. You won't be worried about being exposed. Because when your life is honest, you don't have to remember the lies you told. That kind of peace is priceless. God blesses those who walk in truth. He honors the person who chooses righteousness over recognition, and He defends the one who chooses justice over recognition. And He defends the one who chooses justice over recognition. And He defends the one who chooses justice over recognition. Integrity may not always get you the fastest results, but it will get you the right ones. And more importantly, it'll keep you standing long after others have fallen. Because success built on integrity doesn't just stand the test of time, it earns the favor of God. And in the end, that's the kind of success that truly matters. There's something special about a person who just keeps showing up, not with flash or flare, but with quiet determination. They may not be the most talented in the room, but they're there early, they stay late, and they do the work with a steady hand and a faithful heart. Over time, that kind of consistency beats talent every time. Because while talent may open a door, It's consistency that keeps it open. In Bible we are said that those who are faithful with little will be entrusted with much. That's not just a spiritual lesson, it's a success principle. The ones who handle the small things with care are the ones who are trusted with greater things later on. A lot of folks start strong, they get excited, they set goals, they feel motivated. But success doesn't come to the ones who start strong. It comes to the ones who finish strong. And finishing well doesn't depend on talent. It depends on whether you're willing to keep going when the emotion wears off. Anyone can perform when the lights are bright. But can you keep moving forward when no one is watching, when the path gets narrow, when it all feels ordinary? That's where consistency does its greatest work. In Bible we are said to not grow weary in doing good, because in due time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. The message is clear. Your efforts are never wasted. Even when you can't see the results right away, something is happening beneath the surface. It's like planting seeds in the ground. You water, you wait, and sometimes it feels like nothing is changing. But over time, those consistent actions lead to a harvest. It's easy to admire gifted people. Their abilities shine, and the world often rushes to celebrate them. But talent without discipline fades. It burns out. What really lasts is the work ethic, the daily choice to give your best even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, even when no one claps. The world often overlooks those kinds of people, but God never does. In Bible we are said that the diligent hand brings wealth. Not the loud hand, not the gifted hand, the diligent one. The hand that keeps moving, keeps building, keeps doing the right thing day after day. There's something deeply spiritual about consistency. It mirrors the nature of God himself. Steadfast, unchanging, faithful through every season. When you build your life with the same spirit, you begin to reflect his character in your work, your relationships, your purpose. You become reliable. People trust you. Doors begin to open, not because you chased them down, but because you proved you were ready for them. Consistency won't always get attention. It won't always feel exciting, but it will get results. It will shape your habits, develop your character, and establish your reputation, and in time it will lead you further than talent ever could on its own. Because while talent can inspire, consistency builds something that lasts. The people you allow into your life have more influence over your future than most realize. Just as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. That isn't just a clever phrase. It's a truth that can shape the entire course of your journey. In Bible we are said that bad company corrupts good character, which means your surroundings can either lift you higher or pull you down. You don't rise above the people you spend all your time with. You rise with them, or you sink with them. If you walk with the wise, you'll grow wiser. It's not about surrounding yourself with people who always agree with you, but people who tell you the truth in love. People who challenge your thinking, not to tear you down, but to stretch you and help you grow. The kind of people who remind you of your purpose when you start to drift. The ones who speak faith when you feel fear, and call out the best in you even when you can't see it yourself. There's something sacred about friendship that strengthens vision. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. Even Jesus, during his time on earth, chose a small circle to walk with him closely. Not everyone should have equal access to your spirit. There are moments in life where who you're walking with matters just as much as where you're walking. Because when your vision gets blurry, the right voices can help you see clearly again. In Bible we are said to encourage one another and build each other up. That means real friends don't let you settle. They don't let you give in to lesser things. They remind you of the promises of God. They sharpen your focus when it gets scattered. They pray for you, speak truth to you, and walk beside you. Not just during the high points, but through the valleys too. Sometimes growth means stepping away from people who can't see what God has put inside you. Not out of pride, but out of wisdom. You can't carry vision and keep company with those who constantly question or belittle it. Vision is fragile in its early stages. It needs protection. It needs encouragement. It needs the company of people who aren't just interested in where you've been, but in where you're going. The path to success isn't meant to be walked alone. Even the strongest leaders need counsel, need encouragement, need sharpening. We all have blind spots. And the right people help us see what we've missed. They remind us that we're not alone. They push us when we're tired. They celebrate with us when we've won. And sometimes they simply stand with us when words fall short. God never designed you to fulfill your purpose in isolation. The people you walk with either sharpen your vision or scatter it. And if you want to go far, surround yourself with those who see your future through the eyes of faith, not just through the lens of your past. Success can be a strange thing. It has a way of lifting a person not just in position, but in pride. When doors open, when influence grows, when voices around you start cheering your name, it's easy to forget the one who gave you the ability to rise in the first place. That's why prayer and humility are not just spiritual habits, they're anchors. They keep your soul steady when everything around you starts to shift. In the Bible we are said that God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. That's not just a warning, it's a roadmap for staying in favor. There's nothing wrong with rising high. In fact, God often raises up those who are faithful. But it's dangerous when you rise so high in your own mind that you no longer bow your heart. Success without surrender becomes self-destruction. That's why every step forward should be matched with a step downward in prayer. Because the higher you climb, the more you need the wisdom, grace, and guidance that only comes from above. Prayer is where clarity is restored. It's where motives are checked. It's where direction is confirmed. Without it, you're navigating the pressure of success with your own strength. And that never lasts. In the Bible, we are said to acknowledge Him in all your ways, and He will make your path straight. That includes your victories, your platforms, your influence. Every blessing should point you back to the one who made it possible. When your knees hit the ground often, your head doesn't swell easily. Humility isn't weakness. It's strength under control. It's knowing who you are, but never forgetting who God is. It's being confident without becoming arrogant. It's being celebrated by others, but still remaining teachable. The most dangerous moment in a person's journey is not the valley, it's the mountain. Because at the top, it's easy to think you did it on your own. But the humble heart remembers it was grace all along. In the Bible, we are said that those who humble themselves will be exalted. That's not just about status. It's about being lifted in the right way by the right hand for the right purpose. Pride builds towers that eventually fall. Humility builds foundations that stand through every storm. And prayer is what keeps you connected to the source of your strength, so your success doesn't become your downfall. There will be moments when success will tempt you to speak louder, push harder, or shine brighter than you should. But a praying heart knows when to be still. A humble heart knows when to step back, because the goal isn't just to rise, it's to remain. And only those who stay low in spirit can carry the weight of high places without losing their soul in the process.